let's start talking about money. So this is scaling your business with personality branding, specifically through Facebook ads. I work with a few different people. All of them sell information products, video courses, specifically more than anything else, online communities. I know a lot of people are wanting to get into this because it's a really high profit margin. It's a great passive income, but in addition to that, it is an incredible impact that you get to have on people based on spreading what you know. So why can I talk about this? So I've been able to help personalities like Dan Locke, Onyx and Gall, Fred Lamb, a bunch of other people. Been doing it 3.5 years. Before that, I worked for Grant Cardone for 13 months prior to starting my agency up. I took him from about $40,000 a month to $1.8 million a month on average over the 13 months that I worked there. That was pretty fun. I spent about $500,000 to $1 million a month between about 6 different clients. We average about a 4-to-1 return, sometimes more than that depending on the person. And I practice what I preach. I have 1,600 students of my own throughout my mentoring programs. What we are going to talk about specifically. So how to produce content strategically rather than just producing a quantity of content like most of you do. I'm going to also show you how to get really high standards in your content without having to do all the extra work and spend all the extra money. I'm going to show you how to respect people in the buying cycle. Most of us, we disrespect the shit out of people in the buying cycle. Most of us are direct response marketers. I'm going to show you how to stop disrespecting people and put respect into people's minds so they actually have a higher probability of wanting to buy your product. This works for any business, not just personalities. This will work for your e-com store. This is going to work for brick and mortar stores, service businesses. Doesn't matter. You guys are going to be able to take these principles and use them. These are all critical assets. Over the last 3.5 years, I've had 3 offices, 2 in Beverly Hills, 1 in Miami. I've had 27 different staff. I've gotten up to about $220K a month, give or take the month. And a lot of people, they just aren't qualified to do any of these things that I'm about to talk about. Some of the things you're going to need are a lead gen funnel, things that people actually want. Most of us, we put bullshit together. We put together a PDF or some case study, assuming that people care about us prior to making them care about us, acting like they're going to download it. So that's a pretty big qualifier to start. You're going to need a webinar. Most people in the information product space, they have webinars, but their webinars really suck. It'll, on average, take you about 40 different times to produce a webinar before you get the one that's actually going to produce you a good 20% return in a closing ratio. You guys, if you don't have any webinar concepts, Russell Brunson's a great guy on that. Third point here, you're going to need a great offer, okay? Offers, it's not just a video course. It's not a master class, okay? It's not just an online community or a mini series or whatever the fuck you guys are calling it nowadays. It's video courses, downloads, live calls, communities, all lumped together, something that provides tangible value. I like to use the selfish rule of thumb. Would you actually buy it yourself? Would you actually invest into it yourself? Would you actually get value from something you're going to sell to other people? You're going to need an upsell. Somebody like Dan Locke is an example. He'll sell an initial product. It's called High Ticket Closer for $2,500. He has, give or take the month, hundreds to sometimes thousands of students that will join into the program. But he has an upsell that complements it. And the upsell is $2,100. It's $199 a month after that. And most of these people that are making millions of dollars a month, 7 figures a month on average, they have products that are $1,000 or more on average. Most of the time when people are creating information products, they have limiting beliefs inside of them that limit the price that they will put on the products that they are going to sell. Sometimes people just come up with random products. They don't do math. I would highly encourage you, start with the end goal in mind of how much you actually want to make and then reverse engineer from that point so you can come up with accurate pricing, a real amount of customers that you're going to be able to generate per month, and be able to calculate the ad spend that it's going to take to do so. So a lot of people ask, am I going to need a team to make some serious money? And the answer is yes. This is 2 pictures right here of Dan's team in 2 different places. This is us going to the Keith Cunningham event. Each person on the team, not Dan, each person on the team paid $2,500 to go to invest in themselves. It was an event called Plan or Get Slaughtered. You need a good team of people that will invest in themselves, actively pursue your goals with you when you're building up your personality brand and selling information products. On average, everybody, period, every single person I've ever worked with that's doing more than $1 million a month has a team of at least 7 different people that are working with them. I'll go over those positions specifically with you right now. So you're going to need a digital marketer who's not lazy, okay? None of these laptop lifestyle people that want to go on the beach or work like 2 hours a day. You need somebody who really gives a fuck about goals and actually wants to make a significant amount of money with you. Typically, if you play into an incentive bias with these types of individuals, they're going to be your best role that you need. They'll be your most costly role on average, but they're also the most important. You're going to need a video guy. If you guys look around the room, there's like 6 different people that are filming right now because you have a digital self that you've got to manage, okay? So when you're a personality brand, Doesn't matter what your business is. You have to digitize yourself constantly. Although I'm here right now, my digital version of me in this exact moment will live on and impact hundreds of thousands of people in the future. Okay, so video guys, some of the most important people. They need to be quick, okay? They need to work under high pressure to get things turned around rapidly because you're going to be producing a lot of content. Graphic designer. You get a lot of people that you can outsource to online. One thing about this, they just need to have high standards. Okay, that's the biggest issue with a lot of people who get on your team. They have low standards. Copywriters, funnel experts, someone who's good at marketing automation, and in addition to that, you need a social media manager, somebody who can post things, manage your communities, do reporting, and just overall moderate what you have going on. Now we're going to go into how to produce content strategically. So anybody in here who plays Fortnite, I apologize to you that you spend time doing that, but you might recognize these right here. All content is strategic, okay? It is not random. It is not something you just post to post. I believe it was Colin who mentioned it. You do quality over quantity when you have content. But it's a very important point I need to drive home. You also need to be in the thought process. I'm going to spend money to distribute this. Okay? So many people. How many people on here only get hundreds of views of video when you post it on Facebook or Instagram? Raise your hand. Nice. How many people you get about 10,000 to 100,000 views of video? How many of you don't even post videos on Facebook or Instagram? Check this out. You have to be thinking you're going to spend money to distribute what you post. It's not just about ads. It's not just a direct response marketing game. You take your content that you're posting on your Facebook and Instagram, I'm going to show you a process for this, to spend money to distribute it. This is a part of the process of getting people to respect you in the buying cycle. You are not just selling to them all the time because that conditions them to only think of you in terms of a salesperson. When in reality, you need to be positioned as the person who provides value that they want to buy from the amount of value that you provide. Content is for establishing biases. Here's some of the biases. I highly encourage you to take notes on this. I'll go through some of them, but once again, do some research on these things yourself, okay? When you post content, take this in right now, okay? If I have a video that's from back there, and you can see a good amount of people that are all looking in one direction, and you have somebody that's on stage, I'm intentionally wearing a shiny jacket as well. Authority bias means that your subconscious can easily recognize an authoritative figure. When you go into the doctor, do you usually question what he says? No, because he's got a lab coat on. A doctor to you means something, okay? The doctor, do they have to go to school to become a doctor? Yeah, fuck yeah, they do. How much money do they have to spend to become a doctor? A lot of money, okay? You respect the doctor before you even go into the doctor. You have a lower probability of questioning what they're saying, and you have a higher probability of accepting what they're saying. Does that make sense? Okay, content establishes authority bias if you do it correctly, and you position yourself as an authority in the content. Stop doing these videos where you pull out your phone, and you're 4 inches away from your face, you don't have your teeth brushed, and your hair is fucked up, and you do a video like that. There's no authority there. That's the opposite. You see, you got to be thinking with, how can I artificially create this if I don't have that positioning yet? You can do this with getting a small group of people to sit around you. We all have friends. You all have a family. You can have a group of people sit around you, talk about something that they don't even give a shit about, and have somebody record it. 1 to 3 minute clip, boom, you're an authority figure. Does this make sense? Pro tip. Okay. Number 2, liking and loving the tendency bias. So we ignore the faults of people or products of companies that we admire. We all love Facebook, right? I love Facebook. I mean, they fucked up a lot in 2018, though. They did. They just didn't handle their PR that well, okay? But we're in the echo chamber of Facebook, so we really like them. So it's going to be really hard to convince you guys that Facebook's bad. Does that make sense? It's actually a bias in your head. There's a lot of people out there who would have the exact counterpoint of what I just said. They'd be like, fuck Facebook, man, they're bad. And they'd give you all the reasons why. We have the liking and loving tendency bias for Facebook because they make us a lot of money, okay? So, curiosity bias. So many people don't have anything in their content that provokes curiosity, okay? Curiosity is one of the greatest things that you can use to get people to interact longer with your content. What's the average amount of time somebody spends on a post in the news feed on Facebook or Instagram? 1.8 seconds. So if you can capture somebody's attention for 10 seconds, it's 5.5x longer than a 1.8 second view, which is quite substantial. But you know what gets them to watch that long? Things that provoke curiosity. Somebody throw out something that might spike curiosity in somebody's head.
Sex.
Yeah, true.
Money.
Yeah. You ever scroll through your Instagram Explore page and you see something with a red circle on it and you click on it to figure out what's circled? Curiosity bias. Okay, reciprocation. This happens all the time. If you ever feel that you've gotten enough value, whether you want to or not, you'll usually intend on doing something for that person to give back. Reciprocation in its finest form. You can do this with content. It's quite simple. You just want to have actual content that's valuable. It's really going to create an impact that people can feel. Not just something you selfishly want them to know, but something that's really going to make them want to give back to you from the amount of value and time and energy and effort that you put in to bettering somebody else. Okay, influence from mere association. We all know a few people we can name off here. They might go to Ty Lopez's house and try to take a picture in the garage or something. You might meet somebody at an event. You'll take a photo with them. You have no association with this person. You just met him at an event. But you'll flex that photo. You might run an ad with it. I know a few of you out here. Okay? Influence from mere association. If there's an authoritative figure or something that we know of, at the end of this presentation, I have a photo of me at the Instagram headquarters. Why? That's law of association. Have you guys gone to the Instagram headquarters? Likely, maybe, some people. But it's the law of association that'll make you care about that one photo and have a higher probability of saying, oh yeah, this guy knows this shit. So that's my point. You guys want to be able to use this in your content. Social proof bias, same kind of concept. You obviously want to be putting out testimonials. You want to be documenting situations where people are acknowledging the value that you've provided. That way you can also document and digitize that so you have these things playing into your content. We're still on the topic of how to produce content strategically so people actually care about what you're talking about. Content is for managing the beliefs of your future buyers before they even consider buying. So this is called primacy bias. Okay, this is very important. If I give you information that you later use to make a decision, you have a higher probability of making that decision. If I present a decision with no information in your head about that decision come time I want you to make it, you're not going to have a higher probability of making the decision. So you got to put data in front of people prior to giving them the decision to make. That's why content matters. Content is also for future objection handling prior to objections occurring. So if you're selling something and you know that people are going to object based on a particular reason, what are you going to do? You're going to handle the objection before it happens. One of the common objections in e-com right now is that shipping takes a long time for things I don't buy on Amazon. What's something that you're going to use as a piece of content prior to running an ad towards people to buy the product? You might have a testimonial of somebody saying, I got this product in 3 days. It was so fast. It was just as fast as Amazon. Then you run an ad towards them to buy the product because they have data in their head that primes them to buy that also handles a potential objection. You do this for all your objections. Does this make sense? So list off as an action item all your objections and then create content around handling those objections. Most people, they selfishly go straight for the pitch, okay? They go, hey, sign up for my PDF. Go join my webinar. Sign up for my master class. I got a new mini-series. Go watch it. It's horrible. To people they don't know, who have never heard of them before, with no content presented, and just out there being the pitch man. It's horrible. It disrespects people. It makes them not like you. It makes them ignore you the next time they see you. This is for every product. You cannot just be the pitch person out there. You got to be priming people. They just sell, they sell, they sell. And what you've got to be doing is respecting the buying cycle. If you observe yourself, if you become a little bit self-aware, before you've walked into a physical store to buy something, before you bought that Apple product, before you bought your new computer, whatever it was, before you even ran a Facebook ad, how many people told you they made how much money with Facebook? A lot. Okay, so how do you do that? How do you actually respect people? I came up with this concept years ago. I call it the Venus flytrap. I was working for Grant Cardone for 13 months, I mentioned, and Grant's hammering me he's a salesperson, man. He's pumping, hey, sell this product, post more. He posts 40 times a day on Facebook on average, okay? And I'm like, this content's not even getting seen, How do I get this shit out there? So I started doing these things. They're called engagement campaigns, and now you can run video view campaigns optimized for through play, which I highly encourage you to do, where you can take that content, you can put it in front of the people that you'd run direct response ads towards. You can have the Facebook audience tool that now gives you that capability. It's not just customer list and websites, okay? It's not just retargeting on those two. You get to retarget people based on their social interaction, on interacting with your Facebook page, on interacting with your Instagram page, on watching your videos between 3 seconds and up to 95% long. When you take content and you put it in front of people, those become your list, just like email lists. Your Facebook audiences are just like email lists. The reason we like email marketing, the reason we like building email lists, is because we get to retarget people based on the segmentation that we've spent time building and spending money on to build. So we can sell things in the future to people, knowing that they're interested. You can do this on YouTube as well. It's quite simple to do. Throw out your cost per click to your website real quick. Just shout out your average cost per click. Okay, $1. Anybody else? Okay, $1, $2. An average cost per engagement is 1/100th of a penny. 0.001. Have you ever even seen that in your ads manager? A cost per view might be 10 cents if you suck. So I'm getting literally 100x to 1,000x lower cost and 100 to 1,000x more people qualified than you are. I'm spending less money. I'm qualifying more people faster. I'm also building a brand. I forgot to tell you, you get a lot of likes, comments, shares, and video views on all your videos and all these channels. It makes you look awesome. It's great social proof bias in itself. Your costs go down. The probability of people buying your products goes up, which is the most important variable in this. And on top of that, does everybody still have their email list from like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago? Yeah, it never goes away. This is the same kind of concept. You get up to 1 year to retarget the people that you build into these warm audiences, is what I call them. So anyway, yeah, just like your email list, your cost goes down, your probability for selling people goes up, and on top of that, you're building a brand at the same time. Most people at this point, they're like, oh, Jeremy, this is sweet, can you go over like how to do it? And to be very clear, there's a 27-minute video, a 50-minute video. These two right here, if you guys go to my Facebook page, so my business profile, not my personal page, it's me on a computer like in the ads manager showing you how to do this stuff. So if you guys want to know how to do it, go to my Facebook page. So yeah, anyway, you guys can follow me on Instagram. As I mentioned, that's my fancy photo at the Instagram headquarters. Just my name, Jeremy.
Hope you guys like that. If you want to watch the full talk, go to iStackTraining.com. Also comes with, I think, 15 other speakers or so that were at the event. You guys are going to love it. iStackTraining.com. You can also DM them on Instagram.